Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode with our wonderful speaker, coach, fellow coach Shailaja from our Improsha Global Coach Tribe. And here I am, Anushli, hosting this space with her, your coach developer, and your fellow human being who really cares for the greater good. And that's why I chose this theme for the conference to celebrate the International Coaching Week 2023 on how can we reduce the cognitive biases that are present in the community. So before we even go and explore what's a cognitive bias that we are going to speak together, let's see and hear from Shailaja who she is and what is she all about? What does she stand for as a human being? Yeah. So Shailaja, thank you so much for being in this space. And I invite you to tell few words about your journey of becoming a coach and what made it meaningful for you to go through this journey, be in this journey, and also aspire on this journey as a coach.
So thank you, Anushli. Sorry, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you, Anushli, and for your kind introduction. And honestly, as I stand here today, I feel like in my life so far, I've always unwittingly sort of helped people who have reached out to me. I'm more of a people's person, and my profession also took me in that direction. I was a human resources, or I'm still one, a human resources professional, and I know that HR extends its arm in coaching. So informally, I used to coach and listen in to people at the workplace, and so today, I decided, or I have already decided to be a coach, and I am a coach now. I formally became a coach. And so for me, the interest lies in people, and for people to be happy and for them to be satisfied. I feel happy and satisfied when I support them in whatever way I can. So I've accomplished the role of being a mother, a wife, and ambitious career person who has tenacity, compassion, is authentic in her interactions, and committed to learning and growing. So somewhere along the journey, my life's purpose became and to be a part of the joys and sorrows of those around me. That really gives me great satisfaction and happiness. So I offer my support and guidance to whoever needs it if they seek it. One of my biggest goals is not to give up on people, and I will go the extra mile to do whatever it takes. And I really have people's best interest at heart, to the extent that I really sometimes don't protect my own interest, but along the journey, I have decided, okay, there should be some boundaries, and where I should also focus on my self-care. So self-care, when I'm looked after and cared for, then I can care for others and support them. So this is my little story, and in the midst of all this, I know that I'm appreciated as a person who listens and can be trusted and is dependable, and so that is really something that I stand for. That is
Amazing,
my story.
amazing. Amazing, Shailaja. I really love
Thank
the
you.
part, the few things that you said, like about not giving up on people. Yeah. Sometimes it's not that we have our inner strength always. We need someone who supports us. We need that support system who will not give up on us. Even we know that we are the most important person, but still we do also choose to give up on ourselves at times. And that's the time we need that support system, a coach, who can help us to believe that you can do it. You still do it. And there are moments I still recall where I've told some of my clients also have said that, honestly, even when I gave up, you never gave up on me. And that's why I even have come at least this far, believing that I can do this. So it's not that trying to overpower them, but when they are in the weakest moment, seeing how can you be that cushion for them as a coach, but not to over pamper, but to be a cushion for them to step up from where they are. And after that, it's going to be their own journey of what they want to do, where they want to go, and so on. And as a coach, a lot of people are getting trained on how to build the trust and how to how to listen. And it's really nice to, even before becoming a coach, you have been rewarded by your clients or your colleagues, people around you, for being a great listener and also being trusted. And I think these are like very important values, not just only as a coach, but also as a human being. So hats off to you for that. And I'm really, wondering how lucky your clients could be because of all these great, wonderful elements. So coming back to our today's topic on cognitive bias. So just in case if people are still wondering, what does this cognitive bias means, just for you to know simply. So it's like a systemic pattern that we create because of the deviation from norm or rationality in judgment, right? So individuals have their own way of how they look at things. Even though we have eyes, the stories that we give to that view is different from one individual to another. So the individuals are creating their own subjective reality from their perception of the input that they have received. So an individual's construction of reality, right, not the objective input, may dictate their behavior in the world and sometimes also influences another person's behavior in such a situation. Okay. So these cognitive biases may sometimes lead to perceptual distortion or inaccurate judgment or illogical interpretation and irrationality. And if you have kids at home, you will understand when there are certain powerful questions like, why Baba black sheep? Can't it be Baba white sheep? Right? Now that's a very powerful question that I have faced from my kids. So yeah, it's a good question. Why not Baba white sheep? And this is a good example for how cognitive biases can be part of our life day in and day out. So today's bias that we are going to explore with Shailaja is on false consensus. Okay. Let's say that the government is saying, for an example, like, its best thing to do is reduce this cost. If we reduce this cost, it will serve the country, it serve the people. So we have to do this, and this is what is good. And a lot of economists are also saying that, and a lot of people are talking about it, and people come to a conclusion. Okay, fine. Maybe everybody, most of the people are saying this, so maybe this is the best thing to do. This is what it is. But in reality, may not be. So what we're trying to do here is we believe more people agree with us than it's not the actual case. So sometimes I also have noticed this in researchers. Sometimes people do researches and they come to a conclusion that, okay, based on the voices that we have heard through the research, This is what we are hearing. So maybe this is what the most people think. Not really. So this is a bias. It can be in favor and it may not be in favor also, I would say. All these biases,
Correct.
if you really see, there are some places it can be in favor. But we are only thinking about the greater good. So we are talking, okay, how can it be in harm? Maybe. What are your experiences, Shailaja? You can share as a coach or as a leader or as a parent or as a human being with regard to this bias.
So I feel, Anushli, sometimes we have our beliefs and values. I think this is all about our beliefs and values. We feel very strongly about certain things like, okay, for example, a social view. Since you talked about the government and research, I would like to just give an example that comes to my mind is about socially. Socially, we all say that we've experienced this in our lives. Oh, a girl has to be married at 22, then at 25, as the generations progress. So when we start thinking like that, and it is incorrect to have that belief about people, like even our own children or others. Oh, why is she not married? It's right for her to get married at this time. And we start behaving in a certain way that is not appropriate for that person. Like, say, we ask the questions, what's happening? And we go deeper into that person's life. If that person is somebody in our, we have a certain relationship with that person. I don't think that's right, because our belief is that, but we don't want others to agree. It each to their own. So sometimes when you tell your children, okay, now this is the right time to do this, to get married or whatever, or our people, our nieces, nephews, they will look at you and they might just say yes, yes, and agree with you because out of respect. But really, how uncomfortable are you making them and putting them into a corner to justify or defend their position? And I don't think that is right. So here's where I feel that we are literally getting an agreement, but it is really not an agreement. So in a way, we're trying to push our beliefs onto others so that, and we think that others should agree with us. So that's really not right. So that's one thing. Then there's other ways, like you're managing your home and you've put a structure in the way you want to run it, whether it be cleanliness or groceries or whatever. I'm talking about, I'm being a human being, a wife here, a homemaker here, and talking. So I really don't think that our way of thinking is necessarily another person's way. So these are examples. Now, as a coach, we may have certain beliefs when your coachee is leading the coaching process, because I believe it's the coachee's area to lead and control the direction of the coaching journey. As a coach, I cannot allow my beliefs and biases. Oh, this shouldn't be this way. It should be like this. And reflect it even in any way, whether through body language or through my questioning. My idea is to my role as a coach is to kind of stand at a distance. I mean, literally, emotionally, physically, but lean in and understand what that person is trying to say. And it is their belief, it is their journey. So my agreement, getting agreement from them on my belief is not important at this point in time. So that's
Absolutely.
it.
That sounds very interesting because as a coach, it's not about what uh what I think, right? Maybe
Yeah.
I think of like say about marriage in a certain way based on what beliefs have I've started to believe, or
Yeah.
what tradition that I come from, what culture I come from, because we live in a very diverse world and even diverse generations. It's not only about diverse ethnicity, religions, but even generation is making diversity in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you might be sitting with a client who thinks that marriage is a waste of time.
Exactly.
And I don't want to have kids. Like I don't want to go through that process of having kids. And um, who are we to say that this is how the world operates always? Like you have, it's important to get married or it's important to have children. Those kind of uh like compulsions based on our beliefs. All this, I think, coming from the false consensus that uh, uh, sometimes so we are believing like everybody thinks the same way,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
everybody don't think the same way. We
Yeah.
we think in different ways. Possibly, if you're part of a certain community, you might think in a similar way. But
Yeah.
even in that similar thinking, how people express their thought is little different.
Yes, I agree. And it often happens also the other way around, that
Hmm.
people are agreeing with us. So we feel, oh, my beliefs are being shared by so many people. That means everybody thinks like that. And we try to sort of extend it to people who may not believe it. So just a few people believing in our beliefs or our values raises our confidence, in the sense that, okay, here I am, I'm right about this. And there is positive reinforcement, but that doesn't mean that everybody else thinks the same way. And sometimes, when if we are becoming forceful in our expressing our beliefs and expecting a buy-in from them or an agreement from them, then people become silent and they just say true, true, and they, continue listening in. And but that still does not mean that they are agreeing with us.
I really hear you on the fact like you feel like you're under obligation to say yes here, but
Yeah,
your heart knows it's not a yes.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
not.
So it's a confusion I feel between agreement and acknowledgement,
Yeah.
agreement and acceptance, right?
Yes.
Uh, uh, you might have a different thinking than me. Like in a place where 100 people are there, I'm the one person who has a different thinking. You 99 have a different thinking, but uh, I acknowledge what you're saying. I accept what you're saying because I want to support the purpose of why we have come together. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean I agree to what you're saying,
Yeah.
and it's okay to not to agree.
Yeah. You can agree to disagree.
Yes. With that note, let's also connect this because this connects to your topic that you're going to talk about during the International Coaching Week, which is on boundaries. And I guess we touched a lot, which is interconnected to boundaries in our exploration about this bias right now.
Yeah.
And why do you think people, whoever is listening to us right now, should attend this 1 hour session? Um, uh, and how do you think it will make a difference when they're leaving from your session?
So, Anushli, first of all, that false consensus, which is a cognitive bias, is quite related to setting healthy boundaries.
Hmm.
Because when we expect others to believe what we believe. We have a certain way of functioning, whether it is at a personal level or at a professional level. So we tend to sort of think and expect that others believe this, so this is my way of doing it, and or this is the way it works. Then, well, and it is causing a lot of pressure on other people, may result in conflict, may result in misunderstandings, because in their hearts they are saying, okay, she wants it this way, but I don't want it this way. So the expectation from each other is that to lean in towards their way of believing and doing and working out things. And finally, when things are not done in the specific way that we think they should be done, ultimately at work or in the personal life, it boils down to getting things done and seamlessly, right? That's how it works. So if it is not done, then you feel what's going on here. So here's where boundaries come in. So there is no really agreement on anything or without it being clarified.
Yes.
So and communicated clearly. So if the person is saying, I believe this, I believe that, the other one says that, and then, okay, so how do we work together to have some sort of midway or common ground? And then we say, look, I like it like this, how about you? So when you talk in this manner where you are giving a certain amount of leeway to someone and someone else who's on the opposite side of you, then that person, who I feel, if that person even doesn't agree with you, might give in, might say, okay, like this is fair, the way she's explaining it to me. It's not a belief, it's a belief. And why don't I look at it like that? And the same goes with yourself. You also say, okay, I have a belief, but that perspective looks good. It sounds right. Okay, how do we marry both of them? How do we merge it to find a middle ground? So
and I think that's what you are going to get to know as audience in marrying that, how to marry that, why it's important to marry that, and honor your boundaries and the other stakeholders' boundaries. Because even in supervision sessions, we see that sometimes coaches become so much like in this serving mode that sometimes they forget their own boundaries. And they bring such cases for the supervision sessions, like so it's a continuous evolving process on this cognitive bias. There's no end to that. But our own interest and aspiration is help you to minimize these cognitive biases by being part of the space that myself and Shailaja going to create to celebrate the International Coaching Week, so that you can take care of your boundaries and you can also help others to take care of their boundaries. Until we meet again, I want to say thank you and see you in the platform soon.
Thank you. Thank you for listening in. Thank you.